Hey, I'm Nick, and along with Bess and Tanya and Linda, who I'm sure you'll meet, we're heading up the cafes team across the whole site of Big Church Festival. So today I just wanted to really talk about workflow and the customer queuing flow and how that's all going to work, just to give us a better idea. Now, in previous years, customer queues has been a real issue. So it's the one big thing we really want to kind of work on this year. And we thought, how can we help do that? And one of the ways we came up with is maybe doing a video and another training session where we can just talk about what the different job roles are, of how we make up a team that will work really effectively together. We've got some people from different kind of places that are all coming together, whether they're charity volunteers or a coffee company, baristas, or a Big Church Festival volunteers. Everyone comes together to make up a cafe team. And for us to work really well together, we were thinking it'd be really good if we come to the site understanding fully what we're looking for in terms of the roles that we all play when we are running one of these cafes, and how well we can work as a team to make sure that the customer experience is brilliant and we don't have what at one point last year I think was 2-hour queues. We don't want any of that this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw out for you and go through some of the roles. So if you imagine, so this is the front counter of the cafe. We've got some beautiful front counters being made this year, especially for us, and all very rustic, very wooden. It's going to look great. I'm excited about that. So on the front counter, you will have a series of tills. Now, some cafes have 2 tills, some will have maybe up to 4. So that would vary depending on the size of the cafe and whether they're maybe slower and steady throughout the whole day, longer periods during the day, or whether they're just really fast because people are only there for a few hours of the day and they have a lot more people but in a very short time. So again, what we've been thinking about is how we can get customers through, get their drinks as quick as possible and move on, because obviously that means everyone, guests that are there will really enjoy that, and hopefully us as a team will also feel like we're satisfied that this has worked really well. So you've got a set of tills on the front counter, and alongside the tills you're going to have a person from our team on each till. Okay, so I'm going to give a little dot wherever there's like a roll. Now on a full big cafe where there's 4 tills, you're going to have one person for each till. Okay, then if I draw on the back counter, now along the back wall you're going to have espresso machines. Now there will be again 2 to 3 espresso machines in each cafe, and then there'll be a station along the back where there might be some hot water urns, and there might also be some filter machines for batch brew filter coffee. That's the kind of thermos filter flask where you brew a few cups at one time of filter coffee, and then when you come to serve it you just pour it and go. So that's really quick. And then down maybe the other side you might have some, in a couple of cafes there might be some frappes blenders. So we might have some blenders down this side. I know there's a couple of cafes that are doing that. And so with that, we have new this year, we're really excited that we've got coffee companies coming in. We've got Edge, we've got Bear, and we've got Cielo all coming in to bring some team of experienced baristas in. And so the primary goal of the experienced baristas that are coming in is that they are there to primarily make all the espresso based coffee drinks and all the hot chocolate based drinks. So I will give them a little dot at each espresso machine. So these are the espresso machines at the top. You'll have at least one person that is heading up that espresso machine. Okay, now there also will be someone who heads up doing teas, which is these hot water boilers circles here. Boiler. So there'll be someone over here And again, this depends on the size of your team and how many tills you've got. But this is the idea. You'd have someone that floats around the boilers making teas, because that's just hot water in the cup with a tea bag, and that's good to go. And they'll also be brewing up some batch filter coffee over here. So they'll be heading up the quick filter coffee and the batch brew and the teas. Okay, then you've got someone over here who will be heading up the frappe and the blender drinks. Okay, so smoothies. So that's if applicable to your cafe, obviously. Now the way I want to talk, what I want to talk about is workflow, and the way we're doing it this time, that we are committed to. I know there's lots of options for how you can do this, but the way we're going to run with it this time is almost like queuing for a bank. Okay, so people are going to queue, customers are going to come in, say down here, and they're going to queue in one long queue, and then each of those will wait at the front of the queue to be called for the next till, and the person on the till, when they're free, will say, yep, come over here, and they'll head over to the till and then stand in front of the till. Okay, now as soon as they will then put in their order. Now hopefully they know their order, because another role, if you've got, particularly this is where we start to get to extra people, spare people, we would love a member of the team down here in the queue, firstly helping people know where they need to queue. You know, if the queue's going off in a weird direction that we really don't want, let's get it back into the right place. Let's give, you know, the guests real confidence that we know what we're doing. Believe me, you will by the end of this. And so we're going to have someone who, ideally, if we've got spare people, will go and help with the queue. Now, part of that will also be that they want to say, have a look at the menu. We're going to have some little menus that are dotted around the queues as well. So if you can't quite read the big wall menu, you can still be thinking about, what do I want? The ideal for a quick customer experience is you think about what you want as a customer before you get to the till. Because if you get to the till, and how many times have we seen this, if you work in cafes, you get to the till and they go, a big long queue, and then they go, what shall I have? And then everyone behind's going, oh no, please. So what we want is the customers to be thinking and have been, you know, provoked to think about before they get to the till, what do I want to order? So when they get to the till, they can just go, blah, 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 this is my order. The person on the till will be able to take that order. Now, when you receive an order on the till, we're going to have some Sharpie pens, and I want you to write on the cup what the drink is, and maybe the person's name, if that's useful. And then what will happen is that they will get, say, all the drinks ordered, write them on the cup, put them into the till, and then those drink cups will get passed to the relevant person. So most might go to the espresso machine and that person over there to make all the coffees, or it might be that that's passed over to the person on the boiler who's just quickly doing some teas or blend drinks, and likewise. Okay, so then when they order some other bits like cakes, croissants, snacks, canned drinks, okay, the person on the till will take a lead in getting those sorted quickly. Now ideally, and this is where we might have a second barista, or we might have an extra member of the volunteer team, there would be a third person on each till. Now maybe I see that third person as a runner. Now a runner is someone that would not run around and spill loads of drinks, but the runner is a person that would help gather all of the stuff for that order as quick as possible. And, you know, so whether that's the cakes, whether it's going to get the cans, whether it's going to help with the tea, and just be a means of making that all come together. Now then what we want to do is we want to deliver that order in to the left-hand side of the till, okay? So they're going to get their cups, they're going to get their food, their order right down there on the left. And we say to the person on the till, please can you stand to this side? Now if you've ever been to the old school McDonald's, this is what they used to do. You used to queue up, or a Pret, you'd queue up, you'd wait, and you'd stand to the side of the till, and then you'd wait on the left-hand side of the till. This means that the person on the till will then become free. Now we don't want them standing still, because then there's a big queue waiting. They want to take the next order, so they'll usher in the next person, call them forwards. So person number 2 comes forwards, let's give them a red. So then the next person here comes forward, and comes to the till, and they're waiting at the till, and they will take their order. Then as soon as that order's been taken, ideally the person on the other side has received their full order now, and they can walk away. The person who is in red on our screen, in my doodle, will then do their order and wait to the other side, to the right hand side, and they will get their order in here. So in effect, you're kind of serving, if you have 4 tills, you could be serving 8 orders at the same time. So we don't have to be limited by the number of tills that we have. So I hope that makes sense. It will make really good sense as we start doing this, but I just wanted to get your minds thinking about it now. It's going to look like a mess on my drawing, but hopefully this just makes a bit of sense as to how we're going to make this work. And just think about a bank kind of queue. So you call them forward. I want the person on the till to take a lead. I always think as a customer, if I go somewhere where the person on the till knows what they're doing, feels confident, feels like they're directing me, I feel a bit more like, oh yeah, this is great. This is a great experience because they know what they're doing. They're in control. They're going to get me what I want, you know, and it's actually really positive. So don't be shy of doing that. And then what will happen when you've got in here the red person, the person that stands to the right, again, the other 2 members of the team will take a lead, making sure that order is done as quick as possible as well, in a safe way. Obviously, we're not trying to overly rush this, but we want this to be as effective and as efficient as possible and utilize the rest of the team. So if cakes are starting to run out, that is where we might have other members of the team that were there, like you might have a team leader that's over at the side. Now that doesn't mean they're just stood there watching, but what that means is they'll probably be dealing with a lot of things that come up that we don't imagine. We are running at cafes in the middle of a field, okay? So there's going to be a lot of things that come up that we're not expecting. So that team leader will take a bit of a lead of monitoring how that's all going. There'll also be a lead from the baristas team as well. And they'll just kind of come together and make sure that everything's working smoothly. They'll also reorder stock. So if stocks run low, there's a stores team where there's a central store on the site. We will radio into them our orders of what we need. We need more millionaire shortcake, ASAP, we've just run out. They'll then deliver that to the cafe seamlessly. It's amazing. So they got a great stores team, and that's nothing to do with us. So what's going to happen is then there might be other people who are dotted around with the team leader kind of at the side. Now what they might be doing is other roles, like I've called restocking. So they might be going to the back, getting some stocks for more cakes, bringing them out, making sure we're always piled high, because you're never going to sell a cake if it's not out. Okay, so we want to keep piling high the cakes so they sell, make them look really nice. We want them to go to all sell out as much as we can, because people want to know, you know, people want a good experience. People want to enjoy a coffee and a cake, you know. So we're really proud of the products that we've got on as well. It's going to be some great coffee, some great coffee companies. We've got some great cakes from a local artisan bakery. You know, let's get excited and tell people about it. Try some cakes out yourself and tell people. Often, I always think it's nice if you know what your favourite cake is, tell them, because you'll find that sells a lot quicker if you're passionate about it. So then you might also have, depending on the setup, so where there's cream teas, you might have another person or 2 who are off for a side for a moment in the side tent, making up cream teas non-stop, just so you can get them back onto the counters to keep making sure that's all stocked up. So there'll be slightly other kind of different bits of roles around restocking and keeping the flow going of making sure everything's there. For the coffee company as well, they might need to be restocked and make sure that they also have everything they need. And then I think that covers all the roles, but what we want to do is then, the only other one I wanted to talk about is in the 3 of the cafes where they have a larger team, that is the arena, the 2 arena cafes and the tea garden. We're going to trial this year a fast track, because they were the ones that were really had a much more intense, shorter time period of much more busier, but not so spread out. And so when people all come at the same time, it's like the problem for bottlenecking. So what we thought is we're going to do a fast track, and the fast track is going to be only for filter coffee, batch brew, and for teas, and maybe 1 or 2 cakes. So it will just be a really limited menu where you literally walk up and there's no prep time. We're not blending drinks. We're not waiting for espressos to pour and milk to be steamed. It's going to be literally get your filter coffee and go. And then next people in, get it and go. And if people are waiting in a queue, they might just go, actually, I'm going to drop across to that because it's a lot quicker. It's a limited menu, but hopefully that would just keep it flowing again as well. So that would be the 4th till. If you've got a one with a 4th till, the 4th till will be used for that. And again, we'll need the same kind of person. We'll need the person on the till, maybe a runner if we've got enough people to help with that till. So you're almost working in a little team. So I just want to leave you with this idea that really what we're doing is we're creating little teams, if you can see on this screen, around the till and the espresso machine or the filter machine. And that kind of team might consist of just, depending on the numbers, one person at the till, one person at the machines, and then, you know, make it all happen, get the orders going as quick as you can. Or it might be that you're working in 3s where with the other people doing other tasks around as well, like making up the teas, making the blenders. It just depends, and it might change at different times of day, and I just want you guys to adapt. But the key roles is you'll have the baristas who are making the hot chocolates and the espresso based drinks. You'll have the people on the till who are managing the orders, getting them in, making sure they're taking the payment and making sure they're completed before the customer goes off happy. The final thing I want to say is it would be really great if you could also, when you give people drinks or orders, tell them what it is you're giving them. So if they've ordered an oat flat white decaf, tell them oat flat white decaf as you give it over. The only reason I do that is just because it gives an opportunity for them, even if it was the customer's mistake giving you the wrong order, at least they can deal with it there and then, and it's much quicker to deal with a quick drink change then than it is for them to go away, get disappointed, you know, it's the wrong drink, come back and be a bit more harder because they have to queue again or whatever. So if we can just give the drink, tell them what it is, they can receive it, and then they're off. And we're on to the next. Next, please.